Test 1, 2. Okay. I'm the Patriarchal Democrat. This is my first video ever. To save myself on the editing, I decided to just write down all the questions. So I'll be doing that today. Would you want to be with a woman who, 1, works a job where she makes more money than you? My answer is no. Women are physically attracted to money, which means they will monkey branch because they will see you as inferior. Next question. 2. A woman who flirts with other guys. Would you be with a woman who flirts with other guys? All. If not, would you hold yourself to the same standard? No, I would not tolerate a woman flirting with other guys. She'd be out the door in seconds. Assuming I'm at home anyways. And no, I would not hold myself to the same standards because when women are allowed to slut around with anyone they see fit, it's really bad for genetic diversity. It's bad for the populace in general. Because women get to slut around with whoever they want. You'll never know whose kids are whose. And then those kids are not going to know that they're related. So, you're going to get kids fucking their siblings that they don't know are their siblings. Then that little cycle is going to keep continuing on and on. Because everyone's going to catch on to this trend. Because women love money so much, they just have to have multiple money sources. AKA men. The ones who get the jobs and bring home the bacon. The only real reason a woman has for a male harem is multiple sources of money. You know, a good lifestyle and so forth. But men actually have a good reason. Women are nowhere near capable of keeping up with a man's sex drive. So men have a reason that's actually good. Having multiple women for a man means he can impregnate as many women as he has access to, as rapidly as he can spit his sperm out. Which means he can replicate his genes a lot. His genes will be diverse because, different women. A man having kids with multiple women is good for genetic diversity. But a woman slutting around to the point that nobody knows whose kids are whose is bad for it. Another thing is that men actually need more than one woman. Because a man actually has a higher sex drive, many times higher. Lesbian couples can go for months on end without touching each other a single time. But homosexual male couples tend to do it about 4 to 5 times a week. Whereas married straight couples only do it about 2 or 3 times a week max. So what does that say? Next question. Damn, 1 second I have to relock my phone. Unlock my phone. Okay. I was on 2, I believe. 3 holds the door for you. I don't see why I would have an issue with it. I mean, it'd be really weird because I was raised traditionally. But something I should say about this, definitely, is I do not, even if I did go back to women, I would avoid feminists like the pagans would avoid the Templar Knights. I would avoid them like the pagan civilians would avoid Templar Knights. Because feminism is just straight penis repellent. It's penis repellent, man repellent all around. Okay, question 4. Refuses to accept help for just about anything. I see this as a very pathetic and almost always a miserably failed attempt at projecting strength and independence. But again, if you give off the slightest hint of feminism, you get to say bye-bye. I'm not dealing with that. I'm gonna give 3 flying fucks how great you seem. You're out the door if you give the slightest hint of feminism off. I don't care how traditional you pretend to be. If you're a feminist, you're out the door. There's no such thing as a good feminist. 5. Does circles around you in auto mechanics or any other technical field. Okay. This one is straight retarded. Not only because it's because men are better at focusing than women. Actually, there's been many cases where men have been noted working circles around women in female-dominated fields. So it's not just that a female is severely unlikely to dominate me in any sort of work field, but it's like women are incapable. 96% of all women are basically incapable of working circles around men in any kind of field. It's called the 4% rule, as in only 4% of women are capable of keeping up with men in any way whatsoever. And even those percent typically have a lot of stuff that they cannot keep up with men at. Case closed. 6. Enjoy sports way more than you. I can't say that I have an issue with that. Like, if she wants to sit on the couch and watch football, fine, whatever. I can usually watch anime and kiss anime Dofferoo anyways, so, who cares? If we're talking about playing sports, though, it's a bit of a different story. I probably wouldn't be playing with her. I would never play sports with a girl because I tend to gravitate more towards violent sports like football, MMA, grappling, sparring, boxing, things like that. Not all those things, but just like as a general idea of what I tend to gravitate towards. 7. Belches and/or farts loudly in public. I don't give a shit if you belch in public or at home, but farting's where I draw the line. Considers anyone who isn't as tough as she is to be a wussy. I feel like this might mean something that it's not actually saying. So I'm going to give 2 different answers for this. No, if it's like on its face, what it means on its face. I actually think I get a lot of entertainment out of a girl like that. A lot of laughter and so forth. We'd be a real couple too. But we're talking like, if you're trying to low-key ask if I'd have an issue with a woman who could beat my ass, the answer is, I don't know. Because there's no such thing as a woman who can kick my ass. At least not that I've ever met. Like, even if I did meet someone who's as highly trained as I am, I highly doubt she'd be able to, because there's still sexual dimorphism to think of. For those of you who don't know, sexual dimorphism is where the males, the men of a species, is bigger, stronger, and smarter than the females. And this holds true for every species in existence without any comprehensible level of exception that has been known to fight over females within the species. Specifically ones that are tournament mating, ones where the males are always bigger and stronger, which is actually part of the sexual dimorphism, so that'd be a very obvious sign. Silverback gorillas, chimpanzees, a few various species of birds, I think, but the majority of birds are actually matriarchal and therefore not sexually dimorphic. Sexual dimorphism just means that the man is smarter and stronger than the woman. No real, fanciness to it. But because of sexual dimorphism, like, a woman's not going to be kicking my ass. Like, not only would she likely be trained not quite as well as me, but she's not going to be nearly as strong or as fast. Like, I'm a man. I enjoy fighting. I enjoy learning to fight. I enjoy dominating people. A woman, on a psychological level, is more likely to panic. I, on a psychological level, assuming I'm caught off guard, am going to enter what the Japanese refer to as mushin. I've entered it before, actually. It's a good way to surprise yourself in a very pleasant way. The Japanese even have a full-blown martial art. Like, they turned archery into a meditative type martial art based around attempting to achieve mushin. It's called Kyudo. And mushin is basically it's like Ultra Instinct from Dragon Ball Super. It is when you lose control of your body, but you're still fully conscious, and your body's able to work way faster and on a level that your conscious mind isn't even able to register. When I first went mushin, I couldn't see a damn thing I was doing. There was like this skin-colored cloud in my face, and that was it. Like, I was moving way faster than I could register. It's kind of like going berserk, except it's more conscious and controlled. Like, you can stop yourself if you want to or need to. But at the same time, it's something that activates on its own, like going berserk, like an actual berserker. But like, you can stop it, you can see everything, you're not gonna like kill them. Like, after blacking out, like, you see everything every second. You just might not be able to see your arms move. That's what I learned in my experience. But anyways, on to the next question. After I type the password for my phone in again. Nine, physically forces you out onto the dance floor whether you're comfortable dancing in public or not. This would strongly depend if it's aggressive or it's like one of those cutesy things that they do in those 80s or 90s movies. It's like one of those things where you're like, nah, I don't know how to dance, and she drags you out and teaches you. Probably turn out about the same as one of those movies, but if we're talking about aggressive, like, if she gets really aggressive with you and, like, really forces you out, nah. She's getting slapped, and I'm getting out. 10. Talks loudly in public about personal things. I don't give a shit if she talks about personal shit, but if she yells, like, if she's one of those people that yells as really loud and doesn't even realize it, I'm not going to have a good time. I'm not going to want to be with her. So, kind of depends. If you just mean, like, you're just talking about personal shit loud enough for other people to hear, nah, I don't care about that. But if we're talking loud, like she is accidentally full-blown yelling, then yeah, I'm going to have an issue. My ears are kind of sensitive, actually. So, no. If that's the issue, no, I'm out.